The first season finale of Mobland on Paramount Plus ended on a brutal note. Fittingly so, since numerous important characters met horrible ends. Killers really started piling up in the season finale of Mobland, when the conflict between the Harrigans and the Stevensons reached a devastating conclusion. Although the violent tone persisted throughout the whole first season of the grim crime thriller. As expected, the dispute was quickly resolved because Harry D'Souza was always one step ahead of the rest of the pack. This strategy also allowed the majority of the Harrigans to escape unharmed. Notably, as is typical of gang show plots, many of the characters who died in the end did so because their own plans backfired. In the first season of Mobland, the concept of loyalty versus betrayal was prevalent, and the rats were usually discovered and eliminated at the appropriate moment. If the show is renewed for a second season, the tension between loyalty and betrayal will very certainly remain central to the plot, and the characters who choose to side with the villain will most certainly meet their demise. Alice's fate. In the 9th episode of Mobland, undercover informant Alice, Emily Barber, who is working for D.S. Fisk and D.C. Mikasa, ends up in the belly of the beast. Toby Jones, Colin Tattersall, reveals that her real name is Nicola. Tattersall was able to frame the Harrigans by collecting DNA from Alice, who accepted Conrad's dinner invitation, clearly meant to gauge her true intentions, and placing it at a crime scene. She became a pawn in Tattersall's scheme, and he had a goon knock her out with what looked like chloroform or something similar. Keep in mind that our sole encounter with Alice is when Tattersall's accomplice knocks her out and drags her away. Since there is no proof that Alice, Nicola, has died, her reappearance in a subsequent season is still possible. The more plausible explanation, however, is that the informant was slain off-screen and the director was merely trying to differentiate Tattersall's methods from the gangster's extreme savagery. Richie's death. Harry, ever the master manipulator, set up Richie and all of his men using Era. Richie was led to believe that an ambush was waiting for him at Era's office. So he had Era inform him that the undefended Harrigans were in the Harrigan safe house. Zoja and Kiko detonated a grenade at the safe house, while Paul detonated a bomb in Era's office, allowing the Stevenson soldiers to be killed with the push of a button. At last, Harry and Kevin wasted no time heading straight to Richie's pub to eliminate the remaining troops guarding him. Richie let his hunger for retribution consume him in the season finale of Mobland, after remaining calm and collected following the deaths of his kid and wife. After a year of faithful service, Richie had enough faith in Era to think he had tricked Harry into setting a trap for her. Regrettably, Era had deceived him, causing his soldiers to be dispersed across London and leaving him with little defense. Assaulting his fortress and gunning him down was a piece of cake for Kevin and Harry. Kiko's death. After the safe house blast, Kiko, Harry's weapons expert, made a very foolish move that ultimately led to his death. After the explosion went off, he and Zoja rushed inside the chamber to eliminate any remaining survivors. They succeeded in doing so, with the exception of one. As Kiko turned over the last man she had investigated, he discovered the man had been concealing a weapon beneath his body. In his efforts to get it, he was fatally shot in the chest. He passed away suddenly and without saying goodbye, leaving Zoja to grieve his loss. Era's betrayal and execution. After she proved her betrayal, Era Delaney was used by Harry to finally bring Richie and his men to justice. After convincing her to be faithful to Richie, Harry used some reverse psychology to trick her into one last big lie. Era stayed at Richie's side as his men were butchered, and he even used her as a human shield during the attack on his office by Kevin and Harry. But Harry knew that Richie could never be trusted again after Era's treachery to the Harrigans. So he shot her in the forehead, killing her instantly. He had already shot through Era, all right.